Hi everyone, I promised you I'd come in to make a vegan basil spinach pesto, and I wanted to get everything. Oh, I miss you too. I put everything in my food processor. Oh, everything is well. Hi Erlene. I put everything in my food processor, and I'm going to turn it on a little bit, and I'll tell you what I have in here. It calls for 2 cups of packed spinach. I had the spinach, but I didn't have as much basil as it called for, so I had to cut back on the basil. You have to make do with what you have. It called for 2 cups of that as well. So I bought a little fresh, but I didn't have enough. But it was probably about a cup I had, so I just added a little bit of dry with it. And it calls for a 1/4 cup of pine nuts or walnuts. I didn't have the pine nuts, but I had the walnuts, so I used those. Or you can use sunflower seeds. 3 large cloves of garlic pressed. And I did that. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I did that. And, oops, I forgot 3 to 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. That's one thing you can see me put in here. I haven't got that in here. I forgot that. So let me go get that. Sorry about that. I forgot my nutritional yeast. I'll just use this. I thought I wanted to check to make sure I had everything, and I missed that, so I'll put that in here. Hi, good afternoon. Good to see you. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to have to lower this. If I have to lower it a little bit so you can watch it work, I will. But I want you to see me first. And that's how you put this in a food processor, or you put it into a small blender. So I thought I'd put it into my food processor, which would be a lot easier. And then I'll just mix it. And in fact, you could probably see it going around. If I have to put it down a little bit, I will. But I think you could probably see it going around. Now I moved it over. I'm going to move it next to my Vitamix. It'll be a little easier to plug it in. But anyway, thank you all for coming in. And let's get this show on the road. And we'll see how this is going to work. Let's see which one I need here. I haven't used this in a long time, so I need to, okay, this one here. I also put 3 tablespoons of water in it, too. You got 4 to 6 tablespoons of water. And I'll just shut it off. I'll just shut it off so I can stir around the sides, because you want a thick paste. You want a paste. You don't want a real liquidy or anything like that. And it says, and then you just put the water in as it's going. So that's what I'm going to do. I put 3 in there. I think I'll put, while I've got it off, the lid off, I'll put 1 more in there, and then we'll see how it's going to go. And this is good on your pasta, like lasagna, probably macaroni. I make you want to go vegan. Well, that's great, because you'll find that being vegan is better for you. It's a lot better for you. Let me go ahead and start this up, and then I will see what's going to happen. Whoops, I got the wrong one. Going around, but I have to get the stuff off the sides. It wants to stick to the sides. I don't want to put too much in here, because I think it's going to make it real hard. Whoops. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a consistency. I might add a little bit more water to it. This is going to be real hard to get it mixed, because it's a pesto, and I've never had pesto before. And we're going to see how this is going to go. Hi, good to see you all. And thank you for coming in. Well, I think this is probably good because it said 4 to 6 cups of, or 4 to 6 tablespoons of pesto, and I think that's about all I need. I'll find a little container. Oh, this is a little one. Put it in here. And I probably could have moved my little tripod back a little further. I didn't know how this was going to go. I thought maybe I had to lower it, so I put it close to my stove. But as you can see, I guess I didn't have to lower it. I might lower it so you can see when I'm pouring this in here. I'm going to lower this down just a little. Bear with me. So you can watch me do this. I don't want to lower it too much, but enough that you can see. I'll make just a little bit more so you can see me pour it in there. I don't want it too low. Because I can't see the comments if I get it too low. But you can see me coming into here. There we go. And like I said, if I'd had more basil, it probably would look a little better. But, you know, you make do with what you have. And I bought some basil, but I didn't buy enough. So, and it was a package, but I didn't buy enough. You know, and you learn after a while how things are supposed to go and what you're really supposed to have. And I wasn't going to Periscope this, but I had promised people that I would do it. So I thought, well, I might just well come in here and Periscope this so that you can, and lift this back up and then I'll just hold it up. Now you can see, doesn't this look good? This is what I'm going to push it back just a little bit because I look like I'm eating the tripod. There, now doesn't that look good? I think this looks really good. And it's just a real simple recipe. And I already had my lunch because no, I used walnuts. I didn't have any pine nuts. I didn't know where to find them. You could use either pine nuts, walnuts, or sunflower seeds. I happen to have plenty of walnuts, so I use those. Doesn't it, though? Erlene said she's made this before. And thank to Erlene that I got this recipe because she goes to a cooking class at her church. And I guess this is one of the recipes that they had done, and they printed it out for everybody. So she made me a copy and sent it to me so I could have it to make. And I've been sitting on it for a long time and just never made it. And I thought I want to try to make it to see what it would taste like. And I think it looks really good. And this is just a right size container for it. It does look good. I'm going to probably have this for my lunch tomorrow. Like I said, I've already had my lunch today because I had tofu sandwiches. So I've had my lunch. I'm not eating any more today. But this will make good. I'll probably fix like maybe some noodles tomorrow or macaroni and just put this right on top of it. That's what they said that you can use this for. I think this looks really good. It's really colorful. Maybe I'll get a little bit more basil. Now, it can be, but you have to eat it in moderation. I eat tofu, and I don't think it's that bad for you. You know, a lot of people say a lot of things, but, you know, until I see it and study it for myself and do research, you know, I'm not going to go on just anybody's word. I have to research it out myself to find out, if you know, because anybody can tell you anything, and they may not know what they're talking about. I'm not saying you don't, or that you do, but I have to do my research to find out if that's really true. You know, I know it has soy in it, but it's everything in moderation. Now there's other people, Stacy Klein, she fixes a lot of tofu. She eats it too. No, she won't go vegan. That's the sad thing of it. She says that it's not for her. That's right. You have to experiment. Like I said, it was supposed to have taken 2 cups of basil, which I think is an awful lot of basil for this anyway. And I had approximately a cup with all what I found in a container and just add a little bit of dried to it. It was about a cup, and I thought, well, I'm just going to try that. That should be plenty because if you put too much basil in it, I don't know, it might be overpowering, you know. No, I just used my my food processor. You really don't need to use the Vitamix for that. I think it's better if you use the food processor. You know, it says a food processor or a small blender. It would be pretty hard to clean it out of the Vitamix because you, with the blades being fixed like they are, it'd be very hard to get the stuff out from underneath these blades. So that's why I didn't use that. Because with my food processor, I don't have to worry about that. You know, the blade comes off and I just, you know, clean it, wash it in the dishwater. And I think this really looks good. If you're into green food, they say green food is good for you. Well, I guess you get green food, you're really going to have a good tasting here. I don't know. No, I haven't. I don't know how close he is to vegan or not. I mean, he's part of my group, and so is Forerunner, but as usual, they don't post anything in it, whether they know that they're part of the group or not. They never said anything about not being part of the group. Hi, Jonathan. Good to see you. But anyway, I think this really looks good. I haven't tasted it yet. Let me get a spoon. I'll get a clean spoon and I'll taste it and I'll see what it tastes like. Thank you. I'm just going to taste it. That's different. I've never had pesto before. It's quite different. But I think it's okay. It probably could have a little more basil in it because the spinach is a little overpowering. But you know something? Once you get it, mix it in with your pasta, it'll be just fine. I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to post it up on my Facebook group. And those of you that don't know, I do have a Facebook group called Karen's Vegan Heaven. And I have close to 200, I think I have 249 members. And people will post recipes in there. And that's what that's for, is to post recipes, vegan recipes, so that we all learn from each other, and we make the recipes that other people makes. And because everybody makes things differently, and they take the recipes to suit themselves. I know Erlene does the same thing, because a lot of the recipes will have things in it you don't particularly like. And you're going to fix it to suit yourself. You're going to add to what you want to put into it, and you're going to take away what you don't want. That's what I do. I tweak them. That's what I did with this one. I tweaked it a little bit because I didn't have enough basil. I wish I'd had a little bit more because that spinach is going to be overpowering. But it's going to be okay once I mix it in with the pasta. You won't hardly taste it at all. But it does have a good flavor. I've never had this before. Never, ever, ever. And this is something that I wasn't sure I was going to like, And I'm still not sure whether I'll like it a lot. But I wanted to give it a try because I thought there might be somebody in here that might like pesto, that's had it before. And they might want to try it for themselves and see how it is. Put it on spaghetti or put it on macaroni. Well, hi, Lisa. You caught me. You caught me. I already made it, but I can show it to you. My pesto. And I'll tell you what I've got in it. Or what it calls for anyway. Hi, Lisa. It calls for 2 cups of packed fresh basil, which I didn't have that. You have to remove the stems. And I don't grow basil. I don't have a garden. So I just had to make do with what I had. And 2 cups of packed fresh spinach. I got the baby spinach is what I got on that. A 1/4 cup of pine nuts or walnuts. I didn't have the pine nuts, so I used walnuts. And you can use sunflower seeds if you want to keep it nut-free. And then 3 large garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 3 to 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and 4 to 6 tablespoons of water. That's all it has in it. A very simple recipe, and it looks pretty. I didn't, that is a good idea. I didn't have any sunflower seeds. I had plenty of walnuts, though, because I have different recipes that call for walnuts, call for nuts, and I thought, well, I might just as well use these walnuts. It's different. I like nuts in foods, and I think that this is a pretty color, pretty green color, and I really like the way it looks. I think it's pretty. Now a lot of people may not like it green like this, but that's what pesto is. And I had heard of pesto, but I really didn't know what it was until Erlene sent me the recipe, and then I asked her, well, really, what do you use this for? And she said, well, you can put it on macaroni, you can put it on lasagna, you can put it on noodles or whatever kind of pasta you have. It does look pretty, doesn't it? Yes, it's very pretty. And like I said, the next time I make it, I won't scope it because I'm going to buy a little bit more basil and put a little bit more basil in it than I had this time. Because the spinach is a little overpowering, but spinach is good for you anyway. Oh, you use it on all sorts of things. Good. I'm glad. Because now that I've got this, I'll fix me some pasta tomorrow for lunch, and I'll put this right on it. And no, there's no olive oil in it. Not a bit. No olive oil. Isn't that something? Maybe you're used to making it with olive oil. This is a different kind of recipe. Like I said, this is the picture of it. Erlene had sent me this to the mail. She went to a cooking class at her church, and this is one of the things that they cooked at the cooking class. She thought I might be interested, so she sent me a copy of it. And she sent me this in the chowder that I had done before, that I had periscoped a while back. Not too awful long ago, I had scoped the chowder, and she sent me this in the chowder. So you have to go back and watch that one. But I wanted to try this one because I hadn't been on here in a while, and I wanted to try out my new phone on Periscope, which Sabbath was the first I'd done on the church scope, and now I'm trying on this. It seems to work real well. I thought maybe it tipped the tripod over. Thank goodness it didn't. But anyway, I wanted to try this pesto because I promised Erlene, I promised people that I would make it. And I wanted you to see that you can make it yourself. Oh, I imagine it is. I imagine it would be pretty, yeah. Well, hi, Vanita, good to see you. Spinach but it calls for 2 cups of spinach, so I put it in my measure all and packed it in there as good as I could. Oh, okay, Arlene, you can send me some of those too. Oh, everything is fine. I hope you're well too. I'm glad to be back on again. Hi, good to see you and welcome. I thought I'd come back in to do this pesto. I promised people that I would make this pesto, and since I had the tripod like Alexis has, I wanted to take advantage of it. And I only use it for my cooking scopes. For the church scopes, I use the regular floor tripod, but this is basically for this. So I leave it sit up on my stove. I never take it down. Well, I've been around, really. I just was waiting for my new iPhone because I had ordered the new iPhone, and I wanted to wait until I got it in the mail so I could use this. Yeah, I do too. I really do. And I got my iPhone on Friday. It came in the mail, and I got it set up on Friday at Verizon. And Sabbath was the first I used it for church, and I thought, well, I might as well use it today. This is Tuesday, and use it here and see how it's going to do. And it does real well. I like the looks of this pesto, and I'm sure that people that like pesto, like I said, I've never had pesto before. This is all new to me. When I heard about it, I thought, well, what is this? But you learn. And if I didn't make it and didn't try it, I would never know what it was. And I'm glad that I did, that Erlene had sent me the recipe, so I could take time to do this and show you that you can make things on your own. Oh, I hope so too, Lisa. I do too. But like I said, I'll make some noodles or some kind of pasta tomorrow, and I'll just put this on and just mix it in it and see how it tastes. It's a little bit of trial and error. Usually when you make it the first time, you're going to make some mistakes. And being as I didn't have enough basil, I know exactly what to do the next time. Get a little bit more basil and put, because they had some small containers at Walmart, real small containers that had fresh basil in it. I didn't buy enough of it. I should have bought a little bit more. And next time I know I'll buy a little bit more, and I should have enough for this because it's a real pretty green color. But I thought, well, I'll make do with what I have now, and we'll see how it's going to be. So it's not too overpowering, but it's a pretty green color. Oh, well, welcome. I hope you get an enjoyment out of it. You'll have to go back and watch me making this in the food processor. This is a glass container. This here has got a glass container. Most of the containers I have that I store in the refrigerator are all glass. I have very few plastic containers. Oh, rosemary. Well, you use that kind of sparingly in some recipes anyway. I haven't used a lot of rosemary. I've used some thyme and rosemary. Like I said, I'm going to post this up on Facebook. I'm going to post this in my group so that people can see what it looks like when it's already made, because people will want the recipe, and that's what my group is for. I'll post the recipe up there, so feel free to try any of the recipes that are posted on my group. It's called Karen's Vegan Heaven. Go in there, and if you're not a member, ask to be approved, and I will approve you. And just check out the recipes. Erlene does quite a few recipes on there. She's got quite a few. Other ones are beginning to post them. And feel free to try any of the recipes out that you see on there, and you might really like them. You know, you never know until you try them whether you're going to like them or not. And I'm real happy that people I do have in there, and I keep getting more people wanting to sign up for my group all the time, which is amazing to me. You know, because there's a lot of people becoming vegan, whether I realize it or not. I have over a year. Thank you. It's sometime last year. I do not recall exactly when I started because I kind of lost track of time when I started, but it's been over a year. I started at the weight of 250, and now I'm down to 192, 193, something like that. It fluctuates. At first, yes, it was, because I was so tempted to buy meat. But the thing of it was, the longer I've gone without eating meat and eating cheese and drinking the dairy milk, I just got used to it, and I walk right past it now, and I don't pay any attention to any mind. I went into the store yesterday, and the people had their carts loaded with all kinds of, meats and stuff like that, all processed foods, and I'm thinking, my goodness, they should find recipes and make their own. Most of the recipes that I've been making lately, with the exception of this one, have been found on allrecipes.com. If you're not familiar with that website, go on there and you can find recipe after recipe after recipe. Now, I just look for vegan recipes. They have the at the top, once I log in, they have across the top, they have a list of all the recipes they have, whether it's a vegetarian, vegan, pork, or whatever. I go to the vegan recipes, and there's page after page after page of vegan recipes. Well, I've been through menopause a long time ago. I really use soy milk maybe just for cooking and stuff. I never really drink it. Glad to meet you too, and thank you for following me. But you take your recipes and you tweak them to your liking. Most of the time, I used almond milk. I like the vanilla almond milk that I put in my cereal. But when I make recipes, I will make recipes with regular almond milk that's unsweetened. That's the best way to go. Chocolate soy. Well, I don't know if I would do that, but that's to each his own. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do that. If you like it, go ahead and, But you might get used to that. Get used to almond milk is actually better because I drink the vanilla kind, and it's much better flavor. Oh, right. Yes, it does. Yes, I know. I used to drink those nutritional drinks like Slim Fast. I don't recommend that for anything, but I did. Oh, it was organic. Yeah, a lot of people can't afford organic. I try to buy organic as much as possible. However, organic can be very expensive. If you haven't got the money for it, you have to be very careful. I try to buy organic when I can. However, not everything I buy is organic. I have bought gluten-free foods. However, I don't need to eat anything gluten-free. But if it's gluten-free and it doesn't have it's non-GMO and it's organic, I'll buy it. But I don't necessarily need to eat gluten-free. But but there are people that can't have gluten, that they're allergic to it for one reason or another. So they have to have gluten-free. Now, like I said, I don't. So if I come across something that has gluten-free, but then it has non-GMO and it's organic, I'll get it. I don't worry about the gluten-free because I want the non-GMO most of all. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can buy that have non-GMO. They're not really organic. I go that route too. I try to get organic if I can, but like I said, organic can be quite expensive. A lot of people can't afford it. But you know something? Being healthy is really less expensive than eating all your meat, because you start buying a lot of meat, it gets real expensive in the stores. I know. I was down that route. And if my grocery bill would be sky high because I would buy all the meat. And now that I'm not eating meat, I'm saving money. I'm not buying dairy milk. I'm buying the almond milk or rice milk, whatever the case might be. I make my own cheese sauce. I make my own vegan cheese, sliceable cheese. I do buy some vegan cheese. Daya, the cheese shreds and things like that. I do buy that for my tacos. But you know something? If the more you make of yourself, you know something I never had, but I could make my own. All you have to do is buy oats and make your own. Instead of buying it. A lot of the stuff in the store, you got to be real, real careful of what the chemicals that are in it. I have made my own. It does to people that are used to the regular real cheese. I happen to like Daya cheese. I think it's real close to the regular American cheese, the cheddar cheese slices I used to buy in the store. Cheese is something that's hard for a lot of people to get away from. Eggs are another thing. They can't do without their eggs. They can't do without their cheese. Now my son, they will not eat eggs. They won't eat meat, but they still eat cheese. He knows he shouldn't be eating cheese. He says that's his downfall. It is a lot of people's downfall. There's just something about cheese. It's, that flavor. It does flavor a lot of things up. Macaroni, you got to have cheese for that. Well, when I make macaroni, I make my own cheese sauce. So you can see what I had posted on Facebook. Make my own cheese sauce and use that. What's a good vegan yogurt? I don't really know because I don't eat yogurt. I used to eat yogurt all the time. So I don't know about a vegan yogurt. You could check at Whole Foods if you have a Whole Foods, if they have vegan yogurt. But I prefer not to eat that. I can live without it. I used to eat it a long time ago, but I don't really need it anymore. Yeah, if you're used to eating a lot, and now let me tell you, I was used to eating all the cheese and drinking the milk and eating eggs and stuff like that. And to go vegan was hard because I gave it up cold turkey. Maybe one thing or so at a time. But once I gave it up, I never went back to it. Don't think I haven't been tempted. I have been tempted to go back to it, but then I told myself, no, I have come too far to get myself involved with eating meat and that again, so I'm not going to do it. And that's what the devil will try to do. The devil will come in and whisper in your ear and say, oh, that's good for you. Go ahead and get it. But I say, no, I'm not going to eat that stuff. I don't want to go back to what I was at, because it's so hard. It's real easy to put the weight on, but it's very, very, very hard to get it off. Yeah, wine and cheese, there's a lot of people love wine. Well, I don't drink alcohol either. That's one thing I don't do. The only liquid I've been drinking lately is water. That's what I do. I drink a lot of water, but I don't drink alcohol. I don't eat, like I said, when I make cheese, I got a good cheese sauce that I make out of carrots and potatoes and has other things in it too, but it's real good. No, I don't drink coffee either. No coffee, because it's got caffeine in it. Caffeine is a stimulant. You don't want to drink anything when it has a stimulant in it. It's not good for you. Years ago, now I don't know if they still make it or not, and I never did try it, but Adventists used to have Postum. I don't know if you know what that is. It's imitation coffee. I don't know if they still make it or not, but I don't care for tea. A tea is an acquired taste. I can take it or leave it. Let's put it that way. I would rather drink water. I just seem to like water much better. I just can't handle tea very well. Coffee? No, I was not a heavy coffee drinker when I drank it anyway. Very, very little coffee, because that's an acquired taste too. But when it comes to the dairy milk, I completely got away from it. If people knew what the dairy milk had in it, they wouldn't even take it in the first place. No, I just drink plain water. I have had water already that's different kind of water, but I just like plain water, and I drink an awful lot of it. I've been real thirsty lately and drink a lot of water. So I keep my water bottle on my laptop right on the table, and I drink a lot of it. I keep it filled up. I fill it up 2 or 3 times a day, and I think it's a 32-ounce bottle, and I keep filling it up and drinking that, which is good because you need to drink a lot of water. Our bodies are made of water, and that's what's good for us, a lot of water. So that's what I'll drink. It's harder to drink it in the wintertime, but you barely drink water. Well, let me tell you, you need to drink more water because water is the best thing for you. Your body is made of water, and you need water. And especially in the summertime when it gets real, real hot. You'll sweat, and you'll sweat out all that water. You need to replenish it. So I drink water constantly. All day long I'm drinking water. It's so much better for you. It's refreshing, and drink as much as you can. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't, you know why they don't drink water? Because it doesn't have a taste. Now there are some people, excuse me, that will drink nothing but soda. They will stock up on soda and they'll drink that constantly. That's not good for you. That's got caffeine in it, and it's also bad for your teeth, and it's bad for your system. You know, it's something that shouldn't be drinking a lot of, but people will put soda in there and drink soda because burgers, sodas, and fries. Well, I used to eat a lot of burgers and drink sodas and eat fries, but no more. I found that I'm a lot better off if I don't do that. I'm a lot healthier, and I feel much better. Welcome, Zebra. Good to see you. And I feel so much better doing away with all that stuff. You don't need it you don't need any of it. And just start drinking water, and you'll realize that once you start drinking water, you're going to want more of it. Because soda, you think about it, soda does not quench your thirst. Water does. I can drink soda, but it doesn't quench my thirst. I need more, I need to drink something that's going to quench my thirst. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. That's what happens. It's not good for your teeth. It's rough on your teeth. You can take the enamel off. Why do that? Put water in your system. You're not going to hurt your system. You need water. We need to live on. You know something? You could go without food for a long time, but you cannot go without water. You will die quicker without water than you will without food, because you have to have water. You know, the ones that are in the desert, that are walking around the desert, they're always looking for water because it's so hot and dry, and they're parched, and you start dehydrating. You need water. I can drink more water than I can eat food. Yeah, I know. Coke is strong. Absolutely, it is strong. Oh my goodness. Yes, it does. It removes stains from stuff, but it's very harmful to your teeth. You know, it's not good for your teeth. It'll probably take the enamel off your teeth. Water with organic lemon slices. Now that's a good idea. Well, I know cola can be yummy, but it's better off if you don't drink it. You know, I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just telling you that your body will thank you if you just start drinking water. You know, our bodies aren't meant for colas. They were never meant for that stuff at all. You know, do your body a favor and put in it what your body wants and what it can tolerate. You cannot tolerate all the sodas. You can't tolerate the bad stuff that people put in their bodies. We need to put good things in our bodies that our bodies can tolerate. Because after all, God made our bodies. And he knows what our bodies are good for. And it's like if you watch Leslie Nance, she knows what her body can handle and what her body can't. Because she knows what she couldn't put in it because she had cancer several years ago. 5 years ago, she had cancer. She's a cancer survivor. I don't necessarily agree with everything that she eats, but that's her. And I'm not going to tell her she's wrong for doing it. I appreciate the fact that she did have cancer, and she does stress about that cancer hates it. You should. Now, she also stresses don't eat a lot of meat. Now she doesn't eat. She's not a vegetarian. She's not a vegan. She's a vegetarian, but she doesn't eat that much meat. She's very little meat. So 90% or something. So she doesn't eat much meat at all. So she's coming along, and I think a lot of people, once they start realizing that meat is harmful, they'll stay away from it. You need to avoid it if at all possible. Do your body a favor and make your own foods. Oh, you love seafood? Well, I used to eat that too. Who was that again? It's Leslie Nance on Go-To Kitchen. She comes on, I don't know what time, because everybody's on a different time zone. She comes on 11 a.m. on my time, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. She cooks for us. And I was in there this morning. I didn't particularly care for her putting eggs in her food because I don't eat eggs, but it did look good nonetheless. But anyway, I watched her, and yes, she does a lot of cooking scopes, and she's, like I said, she had cancer about 5 years ago, and cancer does hate sugar, or cancer actually, I've got that wrong. Cancer loves sugar, And sugar is going to breed cancer. But there are so many things that cancer hates. You got to put in your body what cancer hates. Do not put in your body what cancer loves. Because there's things that cancer loves. You put them in your body, you're going to breed cancer. And who wants that? I certainly don't. So do your body a favor and eat the things that you know that your body can accept. Because oh yeah, it does hate garlic. Oh, now I love garlic, and I use as much. Hi, good to see you. Welcome. I use garlic in all my recipes. I love garlic. It can be quite potent, I tell you, because when I was with my dad one time, we went to Michigan, up in Peninsula, Michigan, and going to church on one Sunday morning, and of course I don't go to church on Sunday anymore. People know that, but anyway, when I was still a Sunday keeper, went to church one Sunday morning in a Lutheran church, and that church just reeked of garlic. Somebody had garlic for breakfast, and they came to church, and if you know how strong garlic is, it just was so potent. I almost needed nose plugs. It was horrible because it is just so potent. I mean, I had this stuff sitting in my the garlic and the spinach and the basil and that sitting in my food processor for a while before I even mixed it up to show you. And I was sitting there on my iPad doing something on my iPad, and I kept smelling that garlic. I thought, oh man, that stuff's potent. So you can understand that it can really be potent. A lot of it, too much. Oh man, this called for 3 garlic cloves, and I didn't want to overdo, but it is really potent, but good for you. I know cancer hates garlic. There's so many things that cancer hates. Avoid sugar, because cancer loves sugar, and it'll breed it. It'll breed it really bad. So you want to put in your body what's healthy for you. That's why I have found that making my own foods are a lot better for me, because I know what I can eat. And something else too, when you make it yourself, you know what's in it. You know what you put in it, and you don't have to guess. The things you buy in the store, you have to look at the ingredients on the packaging. And you'd be surprised how many different ingredients they have in there. Most of them you can't pronounce. And I always say, if you can't pronounce them, don't put them in your body, because they're not going to be good for you. I'm certainly not going to put something in my body that I cannot tolerate, or I don't know what it is. Yes, that's right, the first 5. I always say this: if you can make something with a less amount of ingredients, the better. Now, some of the things I make call for more ingredients than others, but I know what the ingredients are. They're good ingredients, like the garlic, or garlic salt, or onion powder, or onions, or things like that. I don't put, regular milk. When that stuff calls for milk, I'll use non-dairy milk, almond milk, or soy milk, or something like that in my recipes. You tweak them to your liking. I make them what might not be vegan. I make them vegan. That's what I do, and once you do that, believe me, once you start eating vegan, you'll never want to go back eating the other way. It's going to be hard at first. You're just going to have to be persistent and just tell yourself, I'm not going to go back to eating meat. I'm not going to go back to eating the cheese, drink the milk, any of that, or eat eggs. In fact, you can take, if you want to make eggs, you can, for a recipe, take a flax meal, or take chia seeds, which are both real good for you, healthy, and make eggs from that. Because I have done it, and they're not real eggs, but they will help your cakes or whatever you're making set up, and they won't fall apart. Yeah, they are. It becomes an addiction. You're right. A lot of people get into the eggs and the cheese and stuff, and it's addiction. That's what my son, he's addicted to cheese, and he says, I know, Mom, I shouldn't be having it. This is my downfall. It is, and I'm just hoping that he learns someday he should be having the cheese. He needs to stop eating it. But, I'm not going to make him. He's going to have to want to do it on his own. I'm just telling him that I know what he shouldn't have it, and he knows what I eat and what I don't eat. So, and it makes it hard when I go to his house on holidays and they have the stuff that I shouldn't be eating, I have to pass it on by. Pepper jack cheese. Well, I don't know anything about cheese, but anyway, if you knew what cheese had in it, you wouldn't be eating it all. It's best to make your own. I've got some cheese that I made a while back that's sliceable, and it tastes like real cheese, and my cheese sauce tastes like real cheese too. just make your own. Once you start making your own, you're going to find it's a lot better. You'll like it a lot better, and you'll get away from eating the other cheeses. And when you start making your own milk, or you buy almond milk, you'll like it much better, and you'll get away from all drinking the dairy milk, eating your cheese, eating the eggs. Yes, I am. Yes, I am vegan, 100% vegan. That's why I come in here. I make vegan recipes. It is very good. It's one of my favorite cheese sauce recipes, and Erlene makes the same one. It's real good. And it tastes delicious. And the nutritional yeast you put in there, a lot of people won't eat nutritional yeast, but I happen to like it. And nutritional, because a lot of people, because of the yeast factor, but I like it, and it makes it taste really good, and it gives it that cheesy flavor. Without it, it's kind of blah, but it gives it that cheesy flavor. Yes, it does taste just like cheese. It's very, very good. And when I made my broccoli soup that I made, I used broccoli cheese soup. I used the cheese sauce in my cheese soup. Now, Erlene had given me that recipe because we talk on iMessage, and she messaged me that one day. And I had just enough cheese sauce left. I think it took a cup of cheese sauce. I had just enough left. And that was the most delicious soup, and I'm going to make that recipe again. It was so good. But you just have to start making things and tweak them to your liking. Leave things out of something you don't like, or put something in that you might like. Oh, I know. Broccoli cheese soup, it is so good. It is really good. And broccoli is good for you. It's greens. Cauliflower is also good, too. I've made cauliflower soup. I've made broccoli soup. I've made potato soup. And I've also made tomato soup. Yeah, you'll have to. I think I did post it up on my Facebook. I did not Periscope it, but I did post it up on my Facebook, and I saw it there the other day. So if you join my Karen's Vegan Heaven group, you'll see that recipe on there. You'll see a picture of the soup. I have the recipe posted there. Just feel free to try it out and see how you like it. And make the cheese sauce and make your own cheese sauce, then put it in there, and you'll really like it. Well, I think I'm gonna close this Periscope up for now. But I thank you all for coming in here and sharing this out and being here for me. And I'll try to come in, and again, I have to look for some more recipes again. allrecipes.com. If that's the one you're talking about for recipes, allrecipes.com. They have recipes for vegans, vegetarians, anything you want. Oh, you too. And that's the one I have. I have the app on my iPad. And what I do is I'll look a recipe up on allrecipes.com, and then I'll go and I'll save it. And then when I scope sometimes those recipes, I take the recipe off my iPad and instead of using the internet or printing it out on here, I save, and I just save it on my iPad app, and then just read it off of there. It makes it a lot simpler. Oh, I'm glad you did too. I hope that everybody has a great day. I hope your day gets better and better. And until we meet again, take care. God bless, and bye-bye.